Hello again, this is John from MyEnglishClass.online, and today we're going to talk about had better. What is had better? How do we use this? Do you use it? Probably not. You might understand it when you hear it, but I doubt you're using it. Why? Because it's very similar to should. You probably use should. It's easier. Why not? So we're going to take a look at had better today. First, you should check out the website, MyEnglishClass.online. There's a lot more material. There are sections in the blog, articles you can slowly read and understand better. And you can sign up for a free trial class, have an English conversation with me. Check it out. We'd better get started. What a great beginning. What does that mean? We'd better get started. Well, it means it's time to start. I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me go back. If I say we'd better start, what I'm saying is it's a good idea that we start. I'm suggesting that we start. We had better start. But to be honest, no one is going to say we had better start. It's difficult for me. I have to slow down. We had better start. You're going to hear we'd better start, and in a lot of places, with a lot of people, you won't even hear the contraction D. We'd. They'll say we better. We better. We better start. This might be a surprise, but a lot of native speakers don't know there's a D because they don't read books, they're ignorant. I don't know. We shouldn't judge. You might not have known what this meant until now. No judging. But when you read, you had better do this, had, you're thinking the past, but don't. Had better is used for the present. We had better go, I'm talking about now, or soon, the immediate future. Had better, it's not talking about the past, present or future. I'm sorry. I know it's confusing. Why is English so stupid? I've thought of some examples where you can use this, or typical situations where you will hear it. Ooh, you're in the living room, and you smell something from the kitchen burning. You'd better check the pizza. At the beginning of a class, it's really typical to hear your teacher say, we'd better get started. Class starts at 7 o'clock, 7:05. Ooh, we'd better get started. We should get started. So if we can say should, why not say should? Is there a difference? Yes. What's the difference? Thank you for asking. You come home from work. Hey, Bob called 3 times. You had better call him. Like a recommendation? Bob is calling. You need to call Bob. You had better call him. He needs you. Or you should call him. You should call Bob. He's called 3 times. Okay. In that situation, both are fine. It's a specific situation, but you never call your father. You should give him a call. All right, this is in general. I don't really mean at this moment you should call your father. You never call your father. You should call him. In this situation, you never call your father. You had better call him. It sounds a little bit weird because had better is more for a specific situation. In this case, there's no reason to call your father. I mean, there's no specific reason. So had better sounds strange. Another example, this movie is great. You should see it because you'll probably like it. But if I say this movie is great, you'd better go see it. Maybe it's been in the cinema for a long time and it's possible that they take it out and you won't have an opportunity to see it. So you had better go. With had better, a lot of times there's a risk or a danger. Like if you don't do this thing, something might happen. This movie's great, you should see it. I recommend it. But if you don't see it, no problem. This movie's great, you'd better go see it soon. If you don't go now, you won't see it. All right, last thing, it's time. Listen, we have 3 forms. Hey, it's time to leave. Hey, it's time for you to leave. Or, it's time someone left. It's time someone left. Yeah. All 3 have the same meaning. That last one, it's time you left, adds a little bit more emphasis. You might be getting kicked out of the bar. Sir, it's time you left. You've had too many drinks. Go home. Take a taxi. It's time to go. It's time for you to go. Or it's time you went. It's time you went. It's not the past. It's talking about now. It's time, right now, that you went. So you need to go. It's time you packed your bags. We have to check out in 10 minutes. So we're at the hotel. You haven't packed your bags, but you need to. Maybe you needed to do it earlier. So come on. It's time you packed your bags. I'm sure you've heard this expression before. It's about time. Usually with some attitude. It's about time. Somebody is late. Somebody was expected earlier. The speaker is a little bit angry. It's about time. I've been waiting for this food for 30 minutes. Well, with that attitude, you might have some spit in your dessert. Never talk to waiters like that. Never. So you can say it's time to do something. If you say it's about time, you're adding some emphasis. Maybe you're complaining or criticizing. Remember, it's time to go. That's a normal thing. My mom would say that to me. John, it's time to go. Okay, let's go. It's time for you to go. John, it's time for you to go. My siblings are playing, but I have to go to the dentist. Ugh. John, specifically me. John, it's time for you to go. It's time for John to go. Oh. The last one. It's time John left. Maybe I'm being criticized. Maybe John is falling asleep at the table. It's time John went to bed. The pizza delivery person is extremely late. Well, it's about time you arrived. I'm so hungry. That's it. You'd better understand this video. It's about time you used these expressions in your English. Hey, if you liked the video, if you learned something from it, please click the like button, subscribe to the channel. Click over here if you want to watch some more videos in this English grammar series. And that's it. Have a great day. It's time you left.